this is a power move. One power move is to sit and eat when you're in a tete-a-tete with someone. Another is lunging. Like, look how you feel now. We're kind of having an argument. What about now? Then you know karate's on its way.
Was it to eat? Was the other one, was it?
Yeah. Okay.
He's got 3 phones. I know he's the president. He's got 3 phones. It's ridiculous,
well,
isn't it?
He might have 3 phone calls.
Fair enough. Yeah. In fairness, you think, though, he might have a secretary. Or one phone that was capable of taking many lives.
So, yeah, it does seem unusual that he's going, I don't know, I'll try to find out. I got somebody else on the phone here. He's not happy with it. Wait a minute, wait on the line. Both of you wait on the line. I'm going to ring the other number. This isn't working for me.
With Obama's foot on the desk, I think it'd be funny if a comedian on a panel show were to say, so Barack here, I'm going to put you on sneaker phone. I think that would be funny if a comedian on a panel show. I think it'd be funny.
I'm speaking of the college, what is France's position?
Doggy style. I've been there.
Okay.
Well,
Next topic.
Yeah, because that topic's settled. We play a round called Mock Up Your Daughters. This game involves Sarah, John, Chris and Andy, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a Wheel of News, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's have our first topic, please. First topic is language. Who wants to come in on that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" And I went, "Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip." "Well, why didn't you say something before?" "Well, I couldn't, could I?" "You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you." "Oh, really? How?" The Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using their throat and their tongue, and constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horses. They're screwed, really, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to come in? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. So from what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? Changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change, though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently, and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over, and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember, your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
OK, that leaves us with Andy and John. The next topic, please. The topic is politics. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
So, we've had the Lib Dems announce their immigration plan. What they like to do is they like to put immigrants into places in Britain which don't, at the moment, have many immigrants. Quite what those parts of Britain will feel about that policy. I grew up for quite a long time in Cornwall, and there they regarded anybody who came from Devon as an immigrant. We had one bloke on our street who was known as the Traveller because he'd once been by train up to London. And we have a new president for Europe, a man by the name of Herman Van Rompuy. Now, the Sun can't wait to get a headline going on this one. Rumpy Pumpy, Rumpy Numpty, Humpty Rumpy. They'll go for gold if he gets involved in an affair with a one-legged ugly dwarf. Rumpy Pumpy from Rumpy Numpty with Frumpy Stumpy Grumpy.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, John, let's see what you've been left with. The topic is fitness.
I think as a country we all know that we're not as fit as we used to be. We still sell a lot of sports clothing, though. I'm from Liverpool. If you ever go to Liverpool and you look around at the number of people in tracksuits, you'll think you're in an Olympic village. The reality is you've only got to see the size of the tracksuits to know that you're not in an Olympic village. And the problem is when you invest in some sport and clothes, you feel you've got to do something with them. I bought a brand new pair of running shoes, a brand new pair of shoes that I thought I'll have to do something. One of my mates said, why don't you join us? A few of us are doing a 10K race. Never run a 10K before, and when you enter, you've got to put an estimated finish time. I didn't know what to put down. I phoned my mate Sam up. I said, what shall I put down? He said, oh, put 22 minutes. I thought that seems optimistic. I'll put 24 minutes. I sent the form in. I turned up on the day of the 10K race. I turned up with my mates. I was stood there with an orange number. All my mates had blue numbers. The steward came up to me. He said, what are you doing here? I said, well, I was thinking of running the race. He said, no, what are you doing back here with all the blue numbers? I said, why? He said, well, you're an orange number. I said, so what? He said, well, if you're an orange number, that means you're an elite athlete. He took me to the front. It was me and 3 Kenyans.
Good man, job. OK, end that round. The points go to Chris and Sarah.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Hi, is that NHS Direct? Yeah, a bit of a temperature and I've got an alien coming out of my stomach. 2 paracetamol, OK.
OK, Mr. Zulu. Set course for the 4th quadrant to the Orion Nebula. I think there's a Nando's there.
We're sorry to announce that there is a replacement beam down service this weekend between the ship and the planet Splooge.
You've got to imagine this in a Scottish accent. This is our Independence Day. There you go.
They abducted us and took us to their spacecraft, and then they explored our bodies with strange probes. I'll be honest, it was the best stag night I'd ever been on.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up, you can tie your shoes. Reem.
What the people don't know, Captain Kirk, is that when I do that V thing, that means in Vulcan, I've had your mum.
I think this time tunnel is broken. We have gone 1,000 years into the future and Bruce Forsyth is still working.
If you take the red pill, you will enter the Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you will have a boner for 7 hours.
This is it. The machines are taking over. Hashtag apocalypse.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, mate. The problem is your nano boosters are shot and your warp drive is fucked.
Our planet is dying. We seek a new home. Which of you is Phil and which of you is Kirsty?
The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
So the plan is you get in the time machine, go back in time, and cock-block Hitler's dad.
Phone home. Phone in Joan. No, phone home.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Matt, Catherine and Andy. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of America's former and possibly future first couple, Bill and Hillary Clinton. But what does BCAH stand for?
Just a very wild guess. Is it Bill Clinton and Hillary?
It'd be terrible. Imagine if we got it first time.
Bill clocks available hookers.
Bill's cigars always humid.
I've got a slightly different one.
I prefer clammy.
Is it? Bill controls Android Hillary. Look at him, he's like...
It looks like he's pointing her out to a sniper. Is that what it is? Bill considers assassinating Hillary?
Yes. I'll give if we could possibly steer it.
Oh, no, the answer, I reckon.
You're going to go for...
Bill campaigns alongside Hillary.
Ooh. That's exactly right. Well done, Russell. Was up in Scotland, who was found by police in Buckingham Palace Gardens.
This was Prince Andrew.
Yes.
And apparently the police stopped him. They thought he was a waster, and it turned out they were right.
He does a voice of the music go, state your business. He'd go, Henry Snuff, you there with the tan and the golf clubs. Before you get into that helicopter, who are you? What are you doing here?
They said they wanted him to prove that he was a royal, and apparently he just stood around doing nothing, and they took that as sufficient proof. So...
Do you know the most stupid thing about this is he apparently said to the policeman who stopped him, he said, "Do you know who I am?" And to which the answer is, clearly not.
He does have that look of a man who's eaten Prince Andrew.
I think he actually lives in the garden. He was found in the garden, wasn't
Yes, he was. He was walking
Do you think he
around
actually
the
lives in the garden?
He had a big
Does he like stick at the dump? Does he live in the garden? That's what I want to know. Has he fallen so far down the royal pecking order that he now actually just lives in the garden of nuts and berries and stuff?
What was the timeline of this, though? Was this before the burglary or was this after the burglary?
It was after. Sorry, there was a burglary. A man broke in 2 days before.
2 days before.
Yeah, hence there was a lot of... They were all on a little bit more...
They didn't think that man was still hanging around there, did they? 2 days after
They often return to the scene of the crime. That is one of the things I've learned about the criminal classes over the years. Who did they contact, by the way, to give a comment on this break-in?
Oh, Michael Fagan.
Michael Fagan. Michael Fagan, who broke into Buckingham Palace 30 years ago and sat on the edge of the Queen's bed for an hour until eventually... I think it's like she said, "Would you like a cup of tea?" And he said, "I'll just ring for one. Somebody in my room!"
They always said that.
I need like a cup of tea!
They said that was very dangerous, didn't they? Because he sat on the edge of the Queen's bed, but the edge of the Queen's bed is up to a quarter of a mile away from the Queen.
I can't believe people aren't breaking in the whole time to Buckingham Palace. It's one of the few places where there's a flag to tell you if anyone's home or not. I bet they don't cancel the milk or anything. You know?
You think as they leave, they're about to put down, and she goes, "No, leave the flag up." Yeah. Right? Leave the flag up and one light in the hall.
Because the whole country was shocked, I think, by the burglary. Everyone thinking, how can you get an intruder into the palace? We were all shocked by it, except Helen Mirren, who's probably thinking, right, that's another film for me to do then. I'll probably get Liam Neeson in to play
Queen 2, who's in my house?
Liam Neeson playing the burglar. Liam Neeson playing the burglar, going, so, you're probably wondering how I got into your bedroom, Your Majesty. How does Aslan ever get anywhere? Came in through the wardrobe.
I honestly thought you were going to go with Taken instead. I honestly thought you were going to say, I have a very specific set of skills.
I don't see adult films, I just see the child films.
Yes, oh, sorry. Yeah.
What is anyone talking about?
Perhaps, Miles, we weren't talking.
Very good.
The end of that round, the points go to Miles, Hal and Andy. The next topic is teaching. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
I was a teacher for many, many years, ladies and gentlemen, and I knew the day I had to leave teaching, it was simple because a very clear sign was given to me that I should leave the profession by a child, because a child walked into my lesson 20 minutes late. I was a very strict teacher. I was livid, yeah? I was almost as mad as if that child had been running in the school corridor, right? I thought, I am having this little bastard. I am having this. So I gave him my most ruthless teacher stare when he walked in, something like... Maybe not that sexually aggressive. It wasn't. That would work. That would work, though, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be late again then, would they? Oh, dear. Where have you been? No, it wasn't right. I was furious. I went, oh, really? Oh, really? And I could see that child didn't give a shit, right? And I thought, oh, no, this is the end of my teaching career. And I went, where have you been? And he went, yeah, sorry, sir. I went, really? Are you? Well, where the hell have you been for 20 minutes? And I promise you, that child looked me in the face and went, yeah, sorry, sir. I've been living la vida loca. What can you say to that? I said, fair enough, sit down. Anyone who quotes Ricky Martin at me, ladies and gentlemen, is a friend for life.
Well done, Greg. Unlikely things to hear on Doctor Who.
When I was giving you a quote as your cleaner, Doctor, I was giving you a quote from the outside.
No, there isn't going to be a new Doctor. I'm being replaced by a helpline.
That is the last time we park the TARDIS outside the Portaloos at Glastonbury.
Davros, we meet again. Oh, Lord Sugar, I'm so sorry.
Hey, saw you from across the TARDIS, and I think I regenerated in my pants.
Doctor, you must help me. I think I'm a pair of curtains.
Tragic news about the Ood. There's been a terrible flood. They tried to escape into the wood, but it didn't do any good, and now they're all dooed.
No, I'm the doctor who works for the World Health Organization.
Yes, I mainly hang around young women. Yes, I was on television in the 1970s. Where are you going with this?
You've got to believe me, Clara. This is our best chance. Now, unzip my flies and I'll explain later.
Let's go forward in time by an hour. Then we get a quid off the pizza.
Now, the first thing to remember on planet Xenon is turn off data roaming.
We are 10 million years in the future. H.G. Wells has just got married.
You are the doctor. I am the tracheotomy patient. I am the doctor. I am 1,200 years old. And this is my assistant, who's 27.
The first subject is unlikely lines to find in the Bible.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
And God said, "Let there be light." Sponsored by PowerGen.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
And God said, right, that's the 14 commandments. Now, will you remember all those?
That's very good.
Table for 12, Jesus. I can do 2 6s at 8:30.
And on the 8th day, God created a magic talking leopard and forgot all about us.
And Mary said God had given her a child. So Joseph went and joined Fathers for Justice.
And it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, although Thames Water still had a hosepipe ban.
St. Paul's third epistle to the Corinthians. Dear Corinthians, I've written to you twice now. No reply. I don't know how you do things in Corinth, but where I'm from, that's a bit rude.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Milton, which category would you like?
Oh, sport, please.
OK. Sport is the category. The answer is 1. What is the question?
Is it, in the majority of cases, how many people does it actually take to change a light bulb?
Is it what would I give Keira Knightley?
Is it what is Obi Kenobi's middle name?
Is it if you asked one of the cast members of Geordie Shore to count to 10, at what point their head would explode?
Is it how many hairs does Wayne Rooney have left on his arse?
Is it the average number of times a bag for life is used?
Is it how many lives did my cat actually have?
Is it what was Adam and Eve's postcode?
Is it the number of Father's Day cards that Prince Charles normally gets?
Is it what's on the back of the Queen's dressing gown?
You're going to have to give us more.
Sport?
Is it sport?
What score do you need to get to beat someone who scored nil?
It's the story about Nadal getting beaten by Screech from Saved by the Bell.
I think I know what it is. It's not about being world number 1.
No.
I think, then, it is about... Djokovic has only lost 1 match, hasn't he, in a year or something.
That's it. Very, very good. Well done. Thank you very much. That's it. Yeah.
Moving on, what long-awaited report was finally published this week?
Chilcot.
The Chilcot Report.
Yeah.
It's available on Amazon, all 12 books. People who like this report also liked.
It's massive, isn't it? How many words is it?
It's 2.6 million words.
Do you know who I feel sorry for? Is the bloke who's got to read the audio book.
It's always Stephen Fry.
He'll be doing all the voices. And they've found new weapons in this.
Yes, but how then? How then, by contrast, will David Cameron be remembered?
He'll be remembered as a man who could book a removal van within 2 days.
It's impossible, isn't it?
How do you do
it's
that?
brutal, that stuff.
Somewhere else in Britain, there is someone going, what do you mean you can't come this morning?
They booked you 3 months ago. The date was clearly in the contract. We've reserved the parking, which was difficult enough to do. Where are your men? How was David Cameron referenced by our guest tonight?
Orally.
Yes.
He mentioned him.
He mentioned him.
Using his...
Yes, in what way, though? In what way?
He did a kind of shout-out to him when he was doing... He said, David Cameron's here, during when he just won Wimbledon, and then everyone booed.
Which is weird, because the press really picks up on the fact that everyone booed him. I'm like, well, leaders always get booed. The only time a leader gets cheered is either if you live in Love Actually or North Korea. That's it.
So what has the world come to that a Conservative Prime Minister would get booed at Wimbledon?
What has become the must-see attraction for Chinese tourists in the UK?
Is it like there's this weird village in... Oh, you're right.
I'm getting a bit of a cough.
Have you followed them off?
So, I'll ask the question again, shall I? Yes, rather than dying of pleurisy there. What has become... God, I hope I don't die. That'd be awful if you don't die in the next while and you go, oh, I know, we never asked.
2016, another great gone.
See, weirdly, it's like you're mocking me and he's not even died. You're not even dead. You go, well, he's no David Bowie.
The only thing I'm thinking is, then I will have won.
Okay. At the end of the round, points go to Loiso, Ellie and Mara. I'm driving you mad here. The question was, what state was the Thames whale said to be in? Sorry, I'll do that again, because I keep saying Thames because I'm Irish.
I think that was absolutely fine, Dara. I wouldn't worry about doing that again, that bit.
OK, fine. We'll move on. It is, just to check, sorry, it is... It's
Thames. That's
Thames.
right,
It's Thames.
It's the River Thames.
OK, all right. What state was the famous... the Thames whale said to be in when it arrived in London? Yeah. OK, yeah, I will do it properly, all right? The question is, what state was the Thames...
You've hit the Thames barrier, haven't you?
I have, yeah. The question is, what state was the Thames whale said to be in when it arrived in London? I'm sorry. Come here, let's do it again. Does anyone know just the amount of shouting there is in my earpiece going, could we please move on? Could we? Is there any chance we could not do the entire recording about how Goring killed himself by first extracting a cyanide tablet from his own feces? Is there any chance, Dara, you could keep some control over the show so it's broadcastable at some stage? Could you? They're even shouting at this bit. Stop doing the bit where you mock us for shouting in your ear. Now we play a round called Harry Potter and the Wheel of News. This game involves Hugh, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is alternative medicine. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
Apparently, a lot of people trying to get into therapy at the moment, other people knocking it, saying, you know, oh, well, you should just lose your inhibitions, talk about your problems to your friends. I thought I'd try this. I talked about my problems to my friends for a whole hour. Lost my inhibitions, also lost my friends. I now tell my problems to taxi drivers. 2 advantages in this. 1, it stops the taxi driver from telling you his problems. And 2, it's amazing how much quicker you get to your bloody destination.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots should give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 stretch. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, I couldn't believe how you put up my frazzles. There he was!
Russell Howard. OK, the losers Hugh and Frankie. The next topic is sport.
Do you know, I've heard a rumour that horse racing may not be completely honest. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But how do you stop the corruption? Well, one solution may be to call horses something like mafia-backed second favourite. Because if everyone did that, everyone would be confused, no one would know who to bet on, and the whole thing would be fair again. And they're off, and the first to show is blatantly bribed, followed by mafia-backed second favourite. They're just ahead of Dope to the Gills, Mysterious Limp, and just behind them, Out for a Canter, and I'll Fall at the Fifth. And as they come to the fifth, I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen. I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen at the fifth in a magnificent display of cheating, and they're coming into the final furlong. Mysterious Limp is slowing, Out for a Canter is clearly struggling, but coming through strongly is mafia-backed second favourite, and as they cross the line, mafia-backed second favourite has won it, which is remarkable, seeing as he has no head. That's been left in someone's bed for tomorrow morning.
Well done, you. Well done, you. OK, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. And it's environment.
Didn't that used to be an advert for mints? Ryanair getting a hard time from the environmental lobby because they've launched a £7 flight to New York. Although, as always with Ryanair, it does land slightly outside New York, in Dublin. It's a pity we can't harness more natural energy, isn't it? Pity we can't harness the power of British moaning. Oh no, that moaning-powered light bulb's on the blink again. Oh no, there it is, back on. Everyone complained about the floods, didn't they? I like storms. I like thunder and lightning. What I like to do during a storm is shag my girlfriend and pretend that we're taking part in the conception of the Antichrist.
Frankie Royal, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie and you. Name 3 things that were part of Andy Murray's preparations for his historic Wimbledon win. This is news that in scorching temperatures, Andy Murray defeated the world number 1 Novak Djokovic to become the first British man in 77 years to win the Wimbledon men's singles final. An integral part of helping Murray achieve his success was his health and fitness regime, which included yoga, a 6,000 calorie a day sushi-rich diet and post-match ice baths. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it?
Did I watch the ice bath?
The ice bath. No, that wasn't broadcast.
Apparently, he actually has ice baths in a wheelie bin. And I think that can't be enjoyable, can it? Particularly if he does it on a Tuesday and gets carried away by the cancer.
It was a historic moment because it was after years of naysaying, years of doubt, years of, you know, can it be done? After 77 years, Andy Murray proved that Scottish people can operate in that temperature.
I know, by the way, I know that last year Andy came into the studio after after not winning the final. It's kind of become a little tradition, and I don't want to make a big thing of it, but he's in the back of the room tonight there, enjoying the show so far, Andy, laughing away there. Yeah. Don't freeze frame it. Don't freeze frame it. It gives it away. Gives it away. Look, you know, we sent the invitation.
He's had a shave since the final. It's amazing.
Mark, we're laughing away. He loved that one. He loved it. Did you like that one as well, Andrew? Do you think that's very funny? Laughing away. Very, very good.
The fact that the bloke who was here last year behind him's come back again.
Good to have him back as well. Good to have Terry there. Hiya, Terry. Pleasure to have you here. Yes, he trains using sushi diet. And what they do is they give him a load of sushi and then he has to run around the conveyor belt trying to get it. That's been a major part of his training.
That's why his training is so expensive. Those little plates add up, don't they?
Man, sometimes they go, green plate, and they'll drop all the red plates and just go for green plates and get them instead. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board, 6 categories. Hal, which category would you like?
Sport.
OK, the category is sport. The answer is yoga, sushi and ice. What is the question?
Is this what Eric Pickles uses to deal with trapped wind?
Is it what would the 3 wise men have brought Jesus if he was born in Notting Hill?
You think your Chinese tattoo says keep the faith. What does it actually mean?
Is it in fact just what does Madonna smell of?
Is it 16 years from now, what will my son tell me when I ask him what A-levels he's doing?
Is it name 3 things Nigella won't be asking Charles Saatchi to pay for anymore?
Is it Pingu's Rider?
He does nothing. I'm doing nothing till I get more sushi in here.
What is the strapline to the hit Japanese television programme, The Loose-Limbed Fish Eaters of the Arctic?
Is it what answer will you get if you ask Paris Hilton to name the elements?
Is it, if you own a bar in Soho, what should you call it to guarantee it'll always be chock full of wankers?
Is it simply what are 3 things which are very difficult to sell door to door?
It is name 3 things that can make you lose the feeling in your legs.
Sushi? Yeah. Do you know what sushi actually is?
Is it what Andy Murray uses to keep up his training regime?
It absolutely is. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for, name 3 things that were part of Andy Murray's preparations for his historic Wimbledon win. This is news that in scorching temperatures, Andy Murray defeated the world number 1 Novak Djokovic to become the first British man in 77 years to win the Wimbledon men's singles final. An integral part of helping Murray achieve his success was his health and fitness regime, which included yoga, a 6,000 calorie a day sushi-rich diet and post-match ice baths. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it?
Did I watch the ice bath?
The ice bath? No, that wasn't broadcast.
Apparently, he actually has ice baths in a wheelie bin. And I think that can't be enjoyable, can it? Particularly if he does it on a Tuesday and gets carried away by the cancer.
It was a historic moment because it was after years of naysaying, years of doubt, years of, you know, can it be done? After 77 years, Andy Murray proved that Scottish people can operate in that temperature.
I know, by the way, I know that the last year Andy came into the studio after after not winning the final. It's kind of become a little tradition, and I don't want to make a big thing of it, but he's in the back of the room tonight there, enjoying the show so far, Andy, laughing away there. Yes, ha 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 ha! Don't freeze frame it. Don't freeze frame it. It gives it away. Look, you know, we sent the invitation.
He's had a shave since the final. It's amazing.
Mark, we're laughing away. He loved that one. He loved it. Did you like that one as well, Andy? Do you think that's very funny? Laughing away. Very, very good.
The fact that the bloke who was here last year behind him's come back again.
Good to have him back as well. Good to have Terry there. Hiya, Terry. Pleasure to have you here. Now we play a round called I'm So Brexcited and I Just Can't Hide It. This game involves Nish and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is the movies. Who wants to come in that? Nish.
I'm a big movie fan, and I'm very excited that there's going to be a new James Bond. Now, my pick, personally, would be Idris Elba. I think he'd be an amazing James Bond, but some people are very unhappy. I was reading an article about this, and the first comment under the article started with the words, "This is not a race thing." Which immediately makes you think, it's definitely a race thing. This is not a race thing, it's just James Bond is not black. Now, I've got terrible news for this person. James Bond is not real. He's not a real person. He doesn't exist. If you're talking about fidelity to Ian Fleming's original character, Daniel Craig has a smartphone and a laptop, and in one of the Pierce Brosnan films, he drove an invisible car. So it might be a bit like if you just suddenly become a stickler for canon. And the second comment started with the words, "This is political correctness gone mad. This is the ethnic minority lobby getting their way again." And hey, we all know if the ethnic minority lobby's been campaigning for anything, it is for a black James Bond. People have been out in the streets. We want a black James Bond now. We don't care about police brutality. All we care about is 007. Hashtag Black Bonds Matter. We will settle for a Mexican, maybe. And who can forget the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King? I have a dream that one day a black man will play a fake spy.
Thank you very much. Well done there. The first subject is politics. Oh, Nish.
So, we're living through a real period of political instability, both here and in America. And in the last couple of months, some unlikely saviours have emerged. Tony Blair is considering a return to frontline politics, and Chelsea Clinton is contemplating a run for the Senate in 2020. And to those people, let me just say this. Maybe just leave it. If you want to turn your public opinion around, the way to do it is philanthropy, right? And let's look at someone who has turned their public opinion around through philanthropy. Look at Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, for the last 15 years, with his wife Melinda, has spent all his time trying to fight the spread of infectious disease. I don't understand the science behind what's going on. From what I can tell, Bill Gates is trying to bribe AIDS to fuck off, right? And we like him for that. But in the 90s, we hated Bill Gates because of the paperclip. Basically, there was a paperclip, and you turn on Word, and the paperclip would appear, and it would ask you if you're writing a letter, but you weren't writing a letter. So you're like, I hate you, Bill Gates! I'm gonna buy a Mac forever! And there are people genuinely putting their money where their mouth is in regards to philanthropy. Look at J.K. Rowling. We all need to be very nice to J.K. Rowling from now on, because she may be about to be all we've got economically. We have no manufacturing sector. Our service industry has been driven by mass migration from the EU. After Brexit, our entire economy may depend on the adventures of a fake wizard that technically ended in 2007, right? We got the play, we got the films, we got the film tour. Can we do a play tour? JK, please write another book. Wales is sinking. Maybe something about Harry trying to get his finances in order in his 30s, like Harry Potter and the Mystery of the Fixed Rate ISA.
Thank you very much, Nish. This game involves Nish and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is health. Who wants to come out? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here, and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They're really nice to me. They're really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy. Which is good because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, OK? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway. before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in the hope it would be poured back into my body at a later date. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." And I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Nish, come on. Okay, so that leaves Nish. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is race.
I'll take this one, Reece. Difficult and interesting time to be a non-white person living in Britain right now. But I think things are improving, especially to be a non-white comedian. Because 10 years ago, I got some advice from a former agent. She said, "Nish, you should stop mentioning on stage that you're not white." And I was like, people are gonna know. I'm not exactly flying under the radar race-wise here. So a couple of weeks later, I got offered an audition in a sitcom. Now, that part required me to do what was cheerfully referred to in the script as the accent, right? Weren't talking about French, were they? Now, when that came in, I said, "There's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that. It's cheap. It's Uncle Tom. It's selling out my entire cultural heritage." And she said, "This is the problem with you, Nish. You take too high-minded approach. You'll never be successful in comedy because you will never do comedy that relates to the man in the factory." And when she said that, I said, "I don't really relate to your paradigm of the man in the factory. I think what you're trying to say is that I should appeal to as high a percentage of the British population as possible. But in the 80s, we shifted from a manufacturing to a service-based economy. So actually, if you wanted to talk about most of the British public, what you should have said is the man who works in the shop or the man who works in a hotel." And she said, "I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about."
Thank you very much, Nish. Points in around go to Reece James. Come on. Unlikely things to hear on a history documentary.
The Russians had Lemsip. The Americans had nightmares. This was the Cold War.
And it was in this humble forest that the War of the Roses began.
Guy Fawkes' bid to blow up the Houses of Parliament failed when he realised his body was made of jumpers and his head was an old football.
Tonight on Bruce Forsyth's History of Britain, Boadicea, Decea Bode!
Horatio Nelson, one arm, one eye. A tragic example of what can happen if you fall asleep and someone finds your organ donor card.
Welcome to Biggest Historical Boobs with me, Katie Price.
Tonight, I intend to find out exactly what did happen to Hitler's other ball. And my search begins right here in the Albert Hall.
And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford-on-Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters.
when Hitler started writing Mein Kampf, he intended it to be a light-hearted romp called Carry On Camping.
John F. Kennedy, Indira Gandhi, John Lennon. If history teaches us anything, it's that if you don't want your child assassinated, don't name them after an airport.
To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
It's hard to believe that this crumbling old ruin presented Weakest Link for as long as she did.
Of course, the Bronze Age was the third best age in history.
And now the documentary that every Channel 5 commissioner has dreamt of. Did Hitler sink the Titanic?
We've been digging in this field in Hampshire for 3 weeks, and we've found this one piece of crockery, which tells us we desperately need to get laid.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
We apologise to customers who have recently alighted at Northampton. I opened the wrong doors.
Could all the people shopping here at Asda please accept that you are piss poor?
Clean up required in the magazine aisle between loaded and nuts.
Would the parents of the lost child please pick him up from the meeting point? Madonna is trying to buy him.
I'd like to remind customers that our special offer this week is 100% off German bean sprouts.
If you would like to upgrade to first class, then you should have worked harder at school and got a better job.
Could the small boy holding the owl stop running at the wall between platforms 9 and 10?
Would the man on pump number 4 please remove the nozzle from the backside of the man on pump number 6?
Could the owner of the Ford Fiesta 1100 in the car park with the tinted windows and the go faster stripes sort your life out, mate? Will you?
I can't remember what the code is. Would Mr. Fire please report to the kitchen? That's Mr. Out of Control Fire. Please report to the kitchen before it's too late. I don't want to start a panic.
The train now approaching platforms 3, 4 and 5 is the derailed train from Swansea.
Would the owners of a black Jaguar please move it as it's attacking the customers?
This is your captain speaking. You can now turn on your mobile phones as you'll need to text your loved ones goodbye as we plummet into the sea.
Things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
OK, today we're going to have a special outing. So, Miss Williams, if you'd like to tell everybody why you're a lesbian.
We welcome a new member of staff today. He has no arms and no legs and no body, and we will call him the Head.
Would whoever's milkshake is bringing all the boys to the yard please stop it?
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal.
If you are found in possession of cocaine, you will be given 100 lines. No, wait.
And today in the after-school club, we're going to be using paper mache to make a mother that actually loves you enough to pick you up at 3 o'clock.
I'm delighted to say that during the summer holidays, Mr. Wang married Miss Kerr. His nickname will remain the same.
A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So...
And today, everyone, we have a new boy. Now, for some reason, whatever reason, he's been to a lot of schools, so be kind to him. Will you please make your way to the front? Richard Pooh Willie.
A word about registers. Most of the staff are on one.
So that is how you put on a condom. But, sir, shouldn't you have used a cucumber? Not with that E. coli kicking around.
Sorry I'm late. I just had a bit of a run-in with an interactive whiteboard. It told me to fuck off.
I've had all your mums.
OK. The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a SIP ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Dec.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to fall.
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
And as well as that, I can unzip the top of my head. It's where I keep my pyjamas.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
Unlikely questions from this year's exams.
Discuss the metaphysical meaning of the following poem. My friend Billy has a 10-foot willy.
Would you like this exam to be A, multiple choice, or not?
The Bronte sisters. Shag, marry, push off a cliff.
Discuss the following. The Nazis got all their ideas from the History Channel.
Who's the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A?
If a bank loses £60 billion in a 6-month period, using numbers that you've plucked out of thin air, work out what the chief executive's bonus will be.
Napoleon, a small man or a long way away?
Quantify n in terms of q when q is a positive integer that dissects a parabolic curve.
How's your lucky pencil case now?
What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
Draw a diagram of the genitalia of the male elephant. Use all 30 sheets of paper provided.
Biology. Without singing, what is the knee bone connected to?
Explain the use of juxtaposition in Macbeth. Alternatively, write down everything you know about Macbeth in a blind panic because you've got no idea what the word juxtaposition is.
Drama. Question 1. What was it that first made you want to become a waiter?
What is your PIN number?
The next topic is unlikely things for a continuity announcer to say.
And now, to upset children everywhere, it's Peppa Pig in pepper sauce.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Nigella will be back at the same time next week.
Up next, Ryan Giggs appears on Footballers' Wives.
Next up on Channel 4, live from Switzerland, it's Come Die With Me.
And now for a special episode of Planet Earth, where 6 chimpanzees will watch David Attenborough have sex.
And now is the time I have to be extremely careful, because the next programme is about Roald Dahl, genius behind Willy Wanker's Chuck Bollocks.
Next on the History Channel, World War II in colour. Look away if you don't want to know how it ends.
Just to clear up some confusion for our regular viewers, ITV 2+1 is not the same as ITV3.
First, though, there's a serial killer on the loose in Balamory.
If you've been affected by some of the issues in EastEnders, they must have been acting it better than they usually do.
And now, Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares for the hard of hearing.
You're watching the Dignitas channel. For God's sake, don't press the red button.
Next up, it's Bargain Hunt, which is also rhyming slang for the bloke who presents it.
Right now, Kate Humble's in the lambing shed.
Oh. Unlikely lines from children's books.
Yes, it is sad. I used to be on Top Gear, said Stick of the Dump.
Jack, do you have any more of those beans?
A Stringfellow? What's a Stringfellow? A Stringfellow? Why, didn't you know it has tanned leather skin and a massive libido and bad 80s hair and a grin like a pedo?
This little piggy went to market, and this little piggy stayed at home, and this little piggy went and died horribly of swine flu.
Let's learn the alphabet. A is for adopted, like you. B is for basmati.
And as Eeyore put the noose around his neck.
No, I don't think you should shave, Bilbo, said Frodo. Those feet need waxing.
Yes, yes, Grandma. What a big TV screen you got. Said Little Red Riding Hoodie.
Who's been sleeping in my bed? Said Daddy Bear. Well, said Mummy Bear, it's been your brother Ryan, and he's a much better shag than you are.
I want to go to Tottenham, said Max. That's where the wild things are.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or as we like to call them, the Sugar Babes.
Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a handsome young prince named Dara.
Where's Gaddafi?
The railway children gesticulated wildly at the driver. You've left us behind, you wanker!
Oh dear, said Postman Pat. I've just had sex with my cat Jess. I should have gone to Specsavers.
And so Emily learned. If she'd just been a nicer little girl, Mummy and Daddy would never have got divorced.
Do you know what? Said the very hungry caterpillar. This gastric band has changed my life.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And there's just yet another Grand Slam victory for Andy Murray.
And now we come to the javelin. If you're watching in 3D, you might want to look away now.
And here we are at the women's football, but while you're enjoying the game, please spare a thought for all the men at home who are going without dinner this evening.
Well, he's stroked that through the covers. Surely it would have been easier just to pull back the duvet.
And here at the British Grand Prix, we've already had a couple of fatalities. Yes, 2 of the crowd have died of boredom.
Lewis Hamilton is 3 seconds ahead, but there's trouble at turn 17 as Dastardly and Muttley have dug a pit.
I'm here at the Green Court Bowls, and I've started cutting myself.
He's got the right hook in, he's got the left hook in, and he's finally finished putting up those curtains.
Well, welcome back after the break. You haven't missed much, just the entire Indian innings.
Now let's go back to Henley, where Claire Balding is standing with 2 cocks.
There's Rio Ferdinand. What a tackle! But enough from me. I really should let these lads continue getting changed.
Alex Ferguson has substituted Wayne Rooney. Of course, not the first time Rooney has been pulled off by a 69-year-old.
Well, what a result. The UK Somalian has beat America's Kenyan to show that the Africans aren't going to have it all their own way.
Thanks for all those fantastic statistics there, Motty. Now go and get a fucking life.
Unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, I have recently become obsessed with a woman and begun stalking her. Look out of the window.
My partner won't give me oral sex, which is really annoying, because that's the only reason I formed the coalition with him in the first place.
My wife says I don't feel anything, which is a problem. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I'm on fire.
I'm 26, my girlfriend's 36. Is 10 years too big an age gap? Because her daughter's 16, she's a right little soul.
I have recently met a woman who makes me feel young again. She's 167.
Dear Deirdre, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm fed up of Mickey Flanagan mocking my accent.
Dear Auntie, I'm a very, very nervous person, and sudden noises really startle me. In fact, even if I hear a buzzer, a bit of wee comes out.
My mates are all getting into drugs, but I don't know what to do. Should I charge them mates' rates or just normal prices?
Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
I am 96, but I'm convinced that young women fancy me. Do I have penile dementia?
I've been wanting to come and see you for a long time, but I can't get out of the chair.
I am a man trapped inside the body of a woman. Could you tell us, please, how to get out of position 43 of the Kama Sutra?
I work in the public sector, and I'm really, really, really worried about my pension.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at Wimbledon.
Well, at 2 sets down, let's see what he's got in his locker. He's not going to be there for about 20 minutes. I've got a crowbar.
Serena Williams has been seeded. You've got to admire the bravery of that bloke.
Hello, I'm Sue Barker. You may remember my father, Chew Barker.
Well, they say that the All England Club is a bit behind the times, and that's why this small boy has just had his hand chopped off for stealing a strawberry.
I am a tennis umpire and gay, and it wasn't easy to come out.
What a fantastic slice, but I do think the All England Club will insist she wears knickers again next year.
Fuck off, Tim!
Well, how did the umpire get up there? I think he must have used a set bladder.
Of course, this year the British players play a lot better. If we look at this graph, we see huge biceps and an angry... Sorry, Steffi, wrong graph.
And for any of our Scottish viewers, what you can see there in that glass of Pimm's is fruit.
Andy Murray here. Andy Murray not being able to make it here today, but we do have his cab driver on the other line. Can you tell us what's occurred? I couldn't get out the cab!
This round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board of 6 categories. Joe, which one would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, your category is home news. The answer is 10 minutes. What is the question?
10 minutes. Is that sobering up time for a budget airline pilot?
Is it how much of 2006 can Pete Doherty remember?
Is it what is the life expectancy of an Iraqi greengrocer?
What's the maximum length of time a man can tread water once he's been handed a hippo? I never know, though.
No, I'm knowing it. What kind of, like, you know, swimming lessons were you brought to? Yeah, you're doing good, you're doing very good. Now bring in the hippo, bring in the hippo.
Is it something to do with education? Is it what do most kids think quarter of an hour is?
I know the answer.
It is something to do vaguely with education.
Oh, it's how long are new lessons going to be?
How long are some new lessons?
Yeah, Mandarin specifically.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Very well done, Russell Howard. Very good. Now, the question I was looking for is how long might some lessons now last under proposed secondary school reforms? These are the radical proposals from the Qualifications and Curriculum Authority to combat pupil disaffection by revolutionising school timetables and teaching methods. Does anyone really care about pupil disaffection?
Well, do you know,
is there any generation that didn't have... I don't like this.
Do you know, at school, you... I mean, working towards excellence does depend on the pupils, but we had a bloke at my school who, when they marked A-levels, he used to get A, B, C, D, E, O, F. Those were the grades, right? The first time... took his A-levels twice. The first time round...
Why did you get an O before the F?
Well, because it was an O-level pass and then a fail. So but the first time round, he got 2 O's and an F. He retook them, he got 2 F's and an O. And he was delighted because he could spell ooh, F off with his A-level results.
But it's amazing.
See, that's the kind of kids you're working with.
But that's all you do at school. We had a maths teacher called Mr. Winter, and he had a comb over, right? And we used to play a game called Tilt the Wig. And the aim was to get him so angry that his hair would flap down by one side. And you cannot get told off by a grown man whose hair is flapping down. It's the most fun. It's like when you go 10-pin bowling with your mates and they go and get a drink and you fiddle with their name. They come back, they bowl, they get a strike, they turn to celebrate, and above them in flashing letters it just says, I touch kids. It's that level of giddy joy, you know? Totally oblivious to the fact that...
This is part of the new proposals, isn't it, that they have things like 10-minute classes to shake up education and they have they combine subjects and stuff like that.
It is genuinely a proposal that you would get different teachers to add it. And the one suggested by the man from the Qualifications and Curriculum Advisory Board, whatever it is, was that perhaps the PE teacher could come around and tell you about great historical example of sporting figures and their leadership. Which is
could there be a worse idea? I mean, you're sitting there as a history teacher trying to tell people about life in the trenches in the First World War. A guy comes in a tracksuit and starts going on about the life of Graham Souness.
I think they combine religious education and biology, so then you'll know where babies come from, but you'll also know it's a sin and dirty and bad.
The other suggestion was... One of the examples was anatomy, where you could have your science teacher and your PE teacher giving the lesson together. The danger then, isn't it, if you forget your Bunsen burner, you know, you may have to do the whole lesson in your pants.
The whole scheme seems to be, what else can we get the PE teacher to do?
Are they not also introducing they're trying to introduce new things, like you can do archery and skateboarding, apparently, in school. And what's going to happen there is you're just going to get a whole new type of drive-by shooting.
That'd be great.
Mothers of gang members pleading for quivers to be taken off the streets.
It is. But you shouldn't be able to hear the roll, pat, roll, pat. Oh my God, quick, duck, everything. There was an example given, actually, of many of the new sports, and they suggested skateboarding and golf. As if there's, you know, in a Venn diagram, just to bring maths into this, a Venn diagram that includes kids who skateboard and kids who play golf. There was no intersection there at all.
I was thinking you were saying it was skateboarding while golfing.
No.
That's brilliant. That's like sort of council house polo. That's a fantastic idea, isn't it?
All these new sports are because Blair thinks our kids are too fat. Isn't it? That way they eat too much sugar and too much salt and too much fat and stuff. And I read a really frightening thing the other day that if you leave a fat kid in a glass of Coke overnight, you can finish that one off yourself, to be honest.
Well, their proposal for fat kids at school is that they give them dance lessons. They're not going to have the concentration for that, are they? Everybody do the mashed potato. Ooh, mashed potato! The thing is, if they're saying, oh, well, how do we get children to learn? Make them.
Yes.
Make them learn. Combine algebra with a beating. You know?
I love the new subject. It's just designed to make parents feel even more stupid, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
it'd be great.
You know, can you help me with my Mandarin homework? Oh, yes, dear. It's like a small orange, a bit like a satsuma.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is rejected questions from this year's exams.
If sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C, what are the chances that you're ever going to use this in your sodding adult life?
According to Germany, how much is Greece worth? 1 mark.
Exam board of Zaragoza. Paint Jesus.
Jonathan is a Nigerian prince. What are your credit card details?
3 girls in this hall are pregnant. Who's the daddy?
Compare the following. A, the market. B, the meerkat.
Heat the crystals until they produce a vapour. Inhale. The exam seems easier now, doesn't it?
Without swearing, describe Peter Andre.
Mental arithmetic. Count up the voices in your head.
Using the paper provided, roll a joint and pass it round.
Does this look infected?
In the recent Olympics, Great Britain won 3 times as many gold medals as Australia. That's not a question, just a statement.
One Direction are incredibly popular. Explain.
Sport. How do you spell Akabusi? Is it A-K-B-U-C? Yes or no?
If Steve eats 2 apples, an orange and a banana, why is he such a fat fucker?
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask you to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Prince of Wales.
Good God, it's Margaret Beckett, isn't it? From the First Labour government. Do you know, I'm beginning to wonder how recent this footage actually is. Oh, lovely, a train in a box. That's odd. Mummy normally gives me a Twix and a lump of organic cheese. Still, never mind. Stick that on eBay. So this will be your driver, Dave. Hello, Dave. I love you. So you drive this, do you? Yes, I bet you've got a tale or two to tell. Yeah, well, actually, it has been hairy a couple of times. I bet it has. Yes. Do you know, I quite fancy doing your job. Yes, and I quite fancy doing your job. Well, that's not going to fucking happen, is it? Can I have a go? No, I'm afraid it's against regulations. Is it? Is it? Now, Dave, think very carefully. Yes, I think that's the right answer. Nobody wants to be force-fed organic biscuits. Anyway, let's have some fun. This is an impression. This is the British economy. It's going backwards. Yes, I know. Don't worry, I understand about trains. Now, tell me, Dave, can this go sideways? Backwards and forwards. Just backwards and forwards. Why don't we just concentrate on driving the train? So just push the lever forward if you go... It's a lever, is it? I thought it was an enormous licorice allsort. What do? Just push it forward, do I? Oh, yes, look, we're going. Well, this is a piece of piss, Dave. I'm stealing a living. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, my arm's stuck. I think... Hang on, Dave, my arm's locked. David, my arm... Dave, my arm... I can't stop. My arm's locked. His arm's locked. My arm's locked. I can't... Oh, my God, where are the brakes? Where are the brakes? They're out of control. I can't stop it. Got you there, didn't I, Dave?
Well done, you did us. There's a general kind of... I was in Europe last week. I was doing gigs in Brussels and Holland. And there's a general... I know. There's a general sense of, why... They don't get it. They're like, what? Oh, why are you... Oh, okay.
What, your comedy?
Yeah, no. So hard. They paid for their tickets, that's it. They're not getting money back. Apart from the man who came up to me in a chocolate shop in Brussels train station and then said, the weather is very good, isn't it? And I went, Jesus, I'm in a spy movie. Oh, yes, but not when the rain falls. Meet me by the liqueurs.
I think it's hard. I find it difficult to find which I dislike more, whether it's like the petty xenophobia of Nigel Farage or the French.
Staying in Europe, what major European sporting event is starting this weekend?
Oh, Euro 2016.
You're very excited, aren't you?
I'm very excited. It's the best thing ever.
Excited.
I'm so
But this
excited.
is what happens every time. It's always the same. It's like huge excitement followed by inevitable limp disappointment. It's like Jerry Hall's wedding night.
Even that photo of men getting on a plane. I've got goosebumps.
They're getting on in the very wrong way.
That's how bad our team is.
It seems to me that plane has got far too many stewards.
I don't know if you watched Alan Shearer's documentary, which said the best summer of our lives 20 years ago was 1996, when we reached the semi-finals. That is how shit we are. That we're doing documentaries about when we reached the semi-final. Germany aren't doing that. They're not doing documentaries on things. They're not doing documentaries on the time they came second in a war.
Presumably do documentaries in Germany about the war. Presumably that was a large historical event and there probably have been documentary makers in Germany who've made it. But they just don't call it the best summer of our lives. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched the Wheel of News, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is... festivals. Who wants to come in on that? Kevin.
Festivals. Nice picture there. That's actually me on your left. So... I was at a Christian rock festival. I never really meant to be there. I was just passing through this Christian rock festival and there was a stall set up that said a free toastie for all of God's children. So I thought, shame on. I said, how's it going, mate? Can I have a toastie? And the guy said, are you a Christian? And I thought, well, if I'm not a Christian, am I not getting a toastie? That's not very Christian. And with this, the guy crumbled. And stood back to reveal a chalkboard, and he said, OK, you can have cheese or cheese and ham. And I thought, just cheese, mate, because I'm a Jew.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is family. Who wants to come out of that? Russell.
So, it wasn't easy growing up trying to be a little liberal kid in the most right-wing family in the whole of my town. My dad was the most right-wing person I knew, but always quick to point out, I'm not racist, but... That was the danger word. I'm not racist, but... Or the latest remix, which is even more innocuous and dangerous. All I want to do is have a sensible discussion about immigration. Yeah? Isn't it? Well, no one with that face wants a sensible discussion about anything. I just want to have a sensible little chat in the back of that transit van over there, yeah? Me and my brothers, the rest of your family, Mr. Woolham whatever your bloody name is, mate, yeah? Get in the van, right? My dad even managed to be prejudiced about my first car decision. How do you even achieve that? By British or German. Do not bring crappanese onto my driveway, boy. Not only that, but I chose a hybrid car. Part electric, part petrol, papa, right? Another question mark hanging over my sexuality. It's the noise of it when it drove off. Thanks for Sunday lunch. Bye, Daddy. Thank you.
Well done. Good mark. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
I used to work at a Christian rock festival selling toasties. The best day was when I sold this Jewish bloke some yellow ham. My dad was a dustman. I didn't like him coming to collect us from school, though. Not because I was ashamed he was a dustman, it's just you never knew which day he was going to come. The rest of my family were police marksmen. Apart from my grandfather, he was a bank robber. He died quite recently, surrounded by his family. My uncle, he's a police frogman. No, sorry, he's a French policeman. I used to work in a supermarket. It was my job to hand out samples of things for people to taste. But I was asked to leave after the little cups of bleach incident. After that, I worked in a pathology lab, but I was asked to leave after one of my reports said cause of death, autopsy.
Point to the end and go to Milton Jones. Come on back. TV shows that never made it to air.
Hi, I'm Bill Oddie, and this is Badger Cull Live.
Complicated financial fraud, she wrote.
Yes, it's Who Wants to Be a Milliner?
Police, camera, paperwork.
Let's see if you can guess who it is in Lloyd Grossman's Through the Arsehole.
Celebrity Love Island. Oh, no, Christ, that really happened.
You've been shot.
Oh, and big news, exciting news though for homeowners. Exciting news for
homeowners?
Oh yeah, you can kill burglars now. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's it. I'm not sure. You can put bear traps around your house and hear yelp in the middle of the night.
I think basically a slapstick rule should apply. If it goes, you're fine. If you kill the guy, not so much.
Yeah. You're allowed to be proportionate in your violence towards burglars, but not grossly proportionate. So, if what you're doing to the burglar could feature in one of the Saw movies.
You want to go with Laurel and Hardy films, ideally.
Exactly.
Try and, whack them by turning around with a ladder, a bucket on their head.
Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after, apparently, he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left them?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see him.
Well, a hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us through. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You're gonna love this guy. That... The hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Boris arriving on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
They also gave him, like they give everyone at the Tory party conference, they gave him a 2-minute standing ovation. That's what they give absolutely everyone, whatever they've said. It makes perfect sense. It's 30 seconds of clapping and a minute and a half for most of them to stand up.
You need a hat. I can do this.
Hinge and bracket over there. OK. In other news, outside the party conference, what have hospital patients been asked to rate?
They have been asked to rate, apparently, exactly how good the A&E departments are. The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? Well, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a cracking A&E.
It's the beginning of Casualty. Wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that. Yes, I know that they put don't know in. There's extremely likely, neither likely nor unlikely, extremely don't know. Don't ask the people with concussion. How would you rate it? Cabbage? Banana? Mummy? Cabbage?
The people who give the lowest rating are dead. So the results are going to be unavoidably skewed.
That's going to be a very awkward conversation when they go, I'm sorry, we've lost him. Do you think he was satisfied with the...
Here we go, let's spin the wheel. And the first subject is jobs. Who wants to come at that? Reese.
I've got a job. Yeah, I'm not resigning. And my job is this, which still counts Dad. This is a good job. It's not perfect. It's not the best job in the world. I would never say that. Some people think it is. It's not, right? Best job in the world, community support officer. With no power comes no responsibility. Best job ever. Nothing is expected of you if you're a community support officer, right? If it's not writing down someone's details, then it is beyond your remit. That is 100%. It's just vigilante admin. That's all it is. You're a professional grass. That is your job. I got a leaflet through the post a few weeks ago advertising that job, right? It said, do you have what it takes to be the best? Will you stand up in the face of danger when no one else will? No? Then you should become a community support officer. In the hierarchy of law enforcement in this country, it goes Army, police, British Transport Police, ticket inspector, traffic warden, park ranger, dinner lady, kid wearing Nike trainers, kid wearing Adidas trainers, community support officer, kid wearing Umbro.
Well done. OK, that leads to Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel again. The topic is technology. OK, where you go.
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously, they don't know that yet. The hardest part of making skimmed milk must be throwing the cows across the lake. The guy next to me at work used to watch porn all day. I'm just glad he didn't begin to rub off on me. I think if I was to try revenge porn, I'd just post naked pictures of myself online so everybody would know how low my ex's standards were. When answering the security question, place of birth, apparently vagina is not an acceptable answer. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. I've currently got a stalker, but you probably can't tell in these trousers. A friend of mine was killed by the big C. He was walking past Curry's and a sign fell on his head. I was watching TV and the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. Thank you.
Very good. Point there for a diamond lady. Come on back.
The thing that I think is, actually we should be talking about immigration now, because it's a good thing that he's put it on the table, because, a lot of Europeans are coming into the country and taking jobs that my parents worked so hard to steal in the 70s.
On behalf of the Irish, we were quite irritated at the time. Because we'd done a good job of nicking those jobs in the 50s, and then you arrive in, waving spices and whatnot. We had no response to that.
Well, listen, if you keep getting in, it is you who are in trouble, because it is, taking jobs from British people is their big worry, isn't it? This will be Mock the Week with Sue Barker.
She's the natural second choice. When I finally get deported, Sue Barker's will be stepping into all my jobs. Yeah.
I think you'll find, though, it was the spices from the East and the Irish cuisine that joined together to form the potato wedge. Beautiful thing.
Nigel Farage, he said there was going to be a flood of Bulgarians and Romanians coming over on New Year's Day. Turns out there are now, in fact, 4,000 less Bulgarians and Romanians in the country now than there were last year. So obviously the Bulgarians and Romanians who were in the country suddenly heard that all these other Bulgarians and Romanians were coming to Britain, and they thought, well, that's why I left the country in the first place.
It works both ways, though. It works both ways, and the British are even sneakier at getting into countries. I keep having British children. They sneak in through my body, and then they talk like this way, and they love queuing, and they eat beans and toast. I don't know where they're coming from.
I think you need to address your open-door policy there.
At me a couple seconds ago, but you just thought of that and were laughing at yourself and waiting to say it.
I'm really quite pleased with myself.
To be honest, he's still laughing at potato wedge.
He's on a bit of a run at the moment.
When Farage made these racist comments about Romanians on LBC, he blamed the fact that he was tired. And you're thinking, well, if tiredness is an excuse for racism, the Metropolitan Police must be bloody knackered, mustn't they?
The other one he said was he felt uncomfortable on train, you get on a train out of London and you would hear foreign languages being spoken. And you kind of go, if you're in the train out of London and the ticket officer came on and suddenly started going, Verkarten bitte! Wo ist deine Papieren? Wo ist deine Papieren? You would wake up and go, it was all a dream! We didn't win the war! Oh, no!
Was that just an excuse to show off your variety of accents?
I have lots of accents. It's very, very good. Maybe you'd like to hear my Spanish accent. Hola, ¿qué tal? It's quite beautiful. It's very good.
The issue that I have is that, you know, UKIP sort of attracting votes from sort of the elderly. You know, that this is sort of who are increasingly supporting them. And the thing is that you get worried because you think, well, I've sort of had more racist experiences from elderly people and you can sort of understand how this comes about. But I actually think that elderly people should just be allowed to be racist because, like, they've got enough shit going on in their lives, like, without having to re-educate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've pissed myself, I've got 2 false hips, and now I can't say darky. Like, it's... I'm quite happy to make him feel comfortable, bump into an elderly person, just give him the old wobble head to make him feel all right.
I don't mind that UKIP's on telly all the time, even though they've got no MPs in the House of Commons. Because, Dara, you've got no MPs in the House of Commons and you're on telly all the time.
All right. But I have an inclusive manifesto. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Gove announces exam changes. This is the news that Education Secretary Michael Gove has announced a new English baccalaureate certificate to replace GCSEs. From 2015, students will work towards a demanding 3-hour exam at the end of a 2-year course rather than the current combination of coursework, modular exams and multiple retakes.
He's even invented an exam that thicker kids won't be able to pronounce. It's the back of what? The back of what? The back. Oh, give me a shovel, I'll go down to mine.
I think the idea is if you're academic, then you get a baccalaureate, and otherwise they teach you practical skills like how to baccalaureate.
The Tories have assured us that under this system no child will be left behind. But how can we take Tory promises that no child will be left behind seriously when their leader's David Cameron?
What's the, do you know what the abbreviation is?
It's called
EBC. EBAC.
It's called the EBAC.
EBAC, which is when Yorkshire people make payment over the internet.
I thought that was something from Star Wars, isn't that?
Yes, it was. Do you know who hated the EBACs?
I bet you can't do the impression. Skywalker! Your EBACs will not qualify you to run the Empire.
There's been a lot of debate over, you know, whether grades have been devalued, and I was discussing that recently with my nephew, Professor Timmy.
So, hang on, sorry, because it's one of these things that I genuinely am always perplexed about, coming from a different country as I have, with my spices and my silks. To your nation. And there's so many great things about it, except your exams, which are mad. And not that the education, by the way, is great. I'm not saying anything about the education people get here, it's fantastic. But the exams are mad.
There are people who, when confronted with an exam paper, just go to pieces completely and forget how to count, and I think it's very unfair that they are marking the papers.
When
There are people who just shouldn't be taking exams. My friend Carl was at sixth form college with a girl who got her A-level results, and when she pulled out the piece of paper, the 3 letters telling her what her future would be, she went, that spells none.
People make an awful lot about the pressure that kids are under, and I suppose they are, but speaking as an ex-teacher, when it comes to exam time, there's far worse pressure on the teachers, because you have to spend sometimes 4 or 5 hours in those halls just walking up and down, and it's a recipe for insanity. I had no choice when I was teaching but to invent a game called Campile. It was just to see who could walk up and down the aisle the campest. We started off just sort of slightly mincing. Honestly, by the end of it, I was walking down a full aisle of children like this. was time for me to leave teaching when I got to the end of one aisle. Genuinely, during an actual GCSE, a kid looked up at me and went...
So were you essentially voguing your way?
I'm not exaggerating. By the end of it, I was like...
The thing is, they want to make the exams harder, don't they? You know, but surely they're hard enough already if your teacher is walking up and down, camping it up.
Oh, no, I'm still qualified, technically. We'll have to cut this bit out.
Really? Is that your safety net?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Do you think anybody, having seen you in In-Betweeners, anybody is ever going to...
Well, you've always got a trade. What was the problem with it?
I did a gig at the University of Central England, which is in Birmingham. That's what they're trying to hide from you. And as an opening line, I said, UCE! So called because that's the grades it takes to get in. But I had to explain it to them.
I'll tell you, I was in an exam when I was at school. My mate, at the back of the hall went... we were all waiting to leave. Someone at the back of the hall went... Meow. And Mr Mearden, the exam invigilator, went... And then someone else went... Meow. And then... Meow. From different parts of the hall. And it led to my favourite sentence I've ever heard come out of an adult's mouth, which was, all right, no one leaves until the meowing stops.
The first subject is unlikely things to read in a Valentine's Day card.
I may be dyslexic, but that doesn't mean I don't vole you.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got something nasty, and now so do you.
You make me so hot, I can't stop thinking about you. Lots of love, Mum.
Happy Valentine's Day on this 24th of February. Love, Royal Mail.
You're the perfect person for me. Pissed and gagging for it.
Be my Valentine or die in a well.
I love your eyes, I love your nose, I love your smell. Why must you be a Labrador?
Do we have to go through this shit every year?
You make my pants hot. Yours, Omar Farouk Abdul Muttalib.
To my darling wife, roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day is consumerist bullshit. Now, haven't you got some ironing to do?
Roses are red, poppies are red, the grass is all red. Shit, the garden's on fire!
I'm a bit of a man for the ladies. Doesn't matter how clearly the gents are signposted. I love you so much. I love you like no other. But never again les up with my mother.
Life with me, baby, is like a roller coaster. It's got a weight restriction.
There are just 3 words I want to say. Dream on, bitch. Knits.
It's knits. It's super knits.
Yeah. I'll tell you why they've got too many knits. Is because they're all sharing the same hat to decide which house they're going to.
I feel bad about not knowing this, except it is from a children's book.
Oh, it's about 40 pages into book 1. Knock yourself out. I'm not going deep on Order of the Phoenix here.
Whereas something like Robot Wars is really adult, isn't it?
So you know the nits. What's the right one?
Apparently they're quite resistant to you know, the shampoos that used to kill them in our day.
Back in the
Although
day.
I don't think even you had to worry.
I have lovely lustrous hair.
Walking around like a housing estate for the nits. So I
Now
just
you're
need
walking
to...
around like a country estate.
Too many burns coming across me. I'm getting singed.
I think people need to adjust their thinking when it comes to nits and just don't think of them as something you need to kill. Think of them as like pets. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, if a kid comes home from school with the guinea pig, you don't go, kill it! Oh, it's resistant to this particular tennis racket. No. You go, oh, look, guinea pigs. You think of the same thing with nits. You go, no, look, it's great. No, that's not an infestation. That's a flea circus.
Yeah, but the difference is the guinea pig is in a tank. It's not hiding up your arse. Like, the nits are a parasite. They're actually on your system. You can't go, oh, we're having a little fun thing here.
And then it makes you scratch, makes you look thoughtful.
I wasn't allowed pets. I would have loved it when I was little. The best I could do was I got a fly, right, dunked it in some water, ripped out one of my hairs, tied it to the fly. When it dried out, I had a fly on a lead. That was my pet.
And she went to a grammar school.
At the end of that round, the points go to Romajet and Ivo. How is an Italian neuroscientist hoping to make medical history?
This is brilliant.
This is
an
amazing.
absolutely fantastic
This is
story.
amazing.
He is planning to give someone a head transplant, or to take someone's head off and transplant it onto another body.
It's a bit ridiculous, though, isn't it? Like, how in demand are heads? Like, who's at home going, finally, I can get an head now, all these years?
No, I think you mixed up a head transplant and a body transplant. No one is going, if only my body had the head it deserved.
Yeah.
I have a... You are quite ripped, aren't you? Yeah.
I reckon he's on the flag. I reckon he's going to get two people who are quite similar, get one of them, get rid of the other one, and just do like a little dotted line around the neck. Go, done it, nailed it.
You would never, ever want to be a head donor, would you? Because that just sounds like a PC job title for a prostitute, doesn't it? That's basically
I don't think, and I know little enough about the sex industry, that they regard it as a donation. I think.
But you are giving head.
Yes, you are, but there is also...
Speak for yourself.
Yes. I don't know. I can't speak for the sex industry. Maybe they go, the head is free. It's the companionship you're paying for.
If you hadn't seen somebody for ages,
Yeah.
and whenever you had seen them, they'd always been in a wheelchair, and then you suddenly saw them walking along the street, you'd be quite freaked out by that, wouldn't you? Right? But it would not be as freaky as if you thought somebody had died and then you saw them walking along the street with exactly the same tattoos as the person who died. That would freak you right out, wouldn't it?
Would there be an element of you would want... I don't know if you can request no tattoos, though.
You'd wake up and be like, why is that pierced?
Hello. I'm not married to Mabel. What the hell is this doing here? This is going to be awkward when I go home.
that your go-to name for a wife was Mabel.
Yeah. It's actually Mary. I thought it was too Irish. I thought, I better pick something English. Mabel, that's a standard English name.
Have you met my beautiful wife, Mabel?
If you put a head on someone else's body, are heads gender specific? Do they have to go on the same...
Oh, that's a very interesting question.
Because I was thinking you'd have to find the match, wouldn't you? Sometimes a head is much too large for a body. So, for example, if your head was to go on Posh Spice, that would look ridiculous.
She'd be lolling. I don't know which of us it is. Would be lolling ferociously.
I would be having some confusing feelings looking at that. I tell you that.
Can enjoy this. Who'd you be blocking out? Who would you be blocking out? Seriously, Josh, be honest with me. Would you be blocking out me or Posh in this situation? Or would it be like those superhero mashup toys? That you're going...
Wait, which Spice Girl would they choose, then?
Well, Posh, I think.
No, they choose Scary because she's like, you know... I don't think they give you a catalogue of just the Spice Girls. I don't think it's...
I totally misunderstood the story.
I don't think, I need a new body. Well, these are your 5 exact choices. Oh, that seems unusual.
So I could choose one of the All Saints?
Presumably, yeah.
If you can remember their names.
Essentially, that's what the Sugar Babes have been for about 10 years anyway. At the end of the round, the points go to Rob, Ellie and Andy. How was Brown's week?
Pretty tricky. To be honest, let's be honest, Brown couldn't get more unpopular if he recorded a song with James Blunt called I Like to Kill Puppies with Hammers.
Yeah, just get his cock out.
John Prescott came out, didn't he? John Prescott said, well, he's irreplaceable. We have no one with the talent to replace Brown. Get a 10-pin. Yeah, I sorted out the credit crunch. I lowered interest rates. But where do you make the coffee?
The Tories aren't going to... the Tories are loving this, presumably.
Yeah.
They can't even attack Brown at this stage because he's so weak.
He's
it would actually look like bullying if they tried to make any points again.
When they did the Glasgow East by-election, the Tories, they couldn't attack Labour, but what they wanted to do was to get as few votes as possible so that the SNP would beat Labour. So Cameron turned up in Glasgow and said, Scottish people are too fat because you drink too much. And it's all your own fault. So you just sort of turned up and went, hello, Scotland, you fat bastards. But actually, party political broadcast in Scotland was just Cameron with Kenny Dalglish in a headlock, punching him in the face with the slogan, remember, Scotland, we own you.
So amidst all these general calls for his head, what is Brown doing now?
He's on holiday.
Yes, he is.
He's gone to Suffolk.
Now, immediately, by the way, we're not saying he immediately went on holiday. They're all on holiday now.
It's a scheduled vacation.
They attacked what he was wearing. Did you see that? They attacked. They're going, oh, you know, why is he not wearing shorts and a T-shirt?
Yeah.
What do they want him in, like a Borat-style mankini?
I'm sorry, but I think that's the best photo I've ever seen of Gordon Brown.
Absolutely.
I think he looks really cool.
I think he looks like
George Clooney.
It doesn't look like he's really... What are we criticising them for? It's not like they can go and have a normal holiday. Yeah. You're not going to vote for someone who goes to Corfu and spit roasts an overweight club rep.
It's hard to have a normal holiday. Like, have you heard, even in Southwold, they're planning a human chain on the promenade to protest against Brown. Imagine that. How lame is that? Oh, I'm not going to the promenade, there's a human chain. I think in this country we're just really bad at, like, kicking off. There's a fuel crisis, and I watched it on TV, and he said, here in the queue, there's talk of riots. How can you have talk of riots in a queue? Right, we're going to riot, we're going to do it in alphabetical order. Oh, I nearly rioted out of turn, then.
I think that's a brilliant idea, because I think holidays are supposed to be relaxing. They're just the most stressful thing in the world. Just leaving your home is so filled with stress because you suddenly feel that you have to unplug everything. You suddenly feel your television will blow up in your absence, despite the fact that no one's ever heard of a television blowing up when someone's holidaying. You sleep safe and sound at bed in night, not thinking my TV could blow up. And then before you go, have you unplugged the TV? And you unplug everything in your home, except the fridge. We trust the fridge. What is it about the fridge? You think the fridge wouldn't do this to me?
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play on a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features Boris Johnson and David Cameron.
Ah, tally-ho, look out, posh boy coming through. I wonder if there's any grub. I'm absolutely starving.
Now, remember why we're here, Boris? We're here to reassure the public about spending cuts, not just so you can eat.
No, but look, there's cake. There's cake. There's loads of cake. I love cake. They've got all sorts of cake. They've got pink cake. They've got blue cake. What am I? Am I pink? Am I blue? Am I pink? I've never been pink. God, I sound like William Hague. Anyway, all the cake's on cameras. He's got loads of cash from the spending cuts.
Actually, this is the last £10 left in Britain, so we'd best be careful with it.
Well, I want a meringue. I love a meringue. I love all the cream in a meringue.
Well, why don't you share mine? I mean, times are hard.
Well, I could, I suppose, but I have a rule. I have a rule. I never share anything with another man, unless, of course, it's his wife. There we go. Now, careful, don't get any of the white stuff up there. No, that would be very bad. Anyway.
So, do you have any change? We were hoping to save some for the poor people. It doesn't really matter, but if there is some...
left over. Have you £3? Lovely. That's absolutely perfect. God, there's a big crowd here. I wonder if I could. I wonder if I could do them for the congestion charge. They absolutely love me for the congestion charge. They love my blonde-haired buffoonery. They love me. They love me. Come on, boys. Oh yes, they love me, and they love me when I'm riding my bike. That's what they really love. Yes. Oops. There we go. That's the Pakistani betting syndicate satisfied. Oh look, lovely. Sticky fingers. Yes, I love a sticky finger. That's not the first. Oh, look, a genuine Cockney. Hello, how are you? Oh, Lauren Lummy, who shot Cock Robin, apples and pears. Down the old chimney, Mary Poppins, the Cray twins, innit? I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well done, you. Questions omitted from this year's exams.
Using pi, distract the fat kid next to you so as you can copy his answers.
Using only the English language, write something.
History. Henry IV, Henry V, Henry VII. Which was the greatest Hoover the caretaker ever had?
Maths. Robert has 400 stamps. He'd like to put them in 12 different albums. He wants to have them equally in each album. How many friends does Robert have?
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Religious studies. If two men have been married for 10 years, for how long will they burn in hell for?
If the fluid has been flowing at 21 litres a minute for 15 minutes, what on earth is wrong with my bladder?
Fill your name at the top of the exam paper. If it's Tyler or Charmaine, get up, leave the school and never come back.
Using only the mass of the ass and the angle of the dangle, calculate the measure of the pleasure.
Yes. If a man travels 12 miles each day to buy a loaf of bread, how long before he realises that living in the countryside is shit?
Are multiple choice exams too easy? A, yes.
Optician's final exam. What do you think are the main causes of short-sightedness? And now? How about now? And now? What about now? And now?
Media studies, trick question 1. Name a business like show business.
Geography. What is to blame for climate change? A, the sunlight, B, the moonshine, C, the good times, or D, the boogie?
This game involves Matt and James, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is interviews. Who wants to come in that?
OK.
Matt.
Go for that. It's fascinating watching different politicians and how they deal with interviews. Ed Miliband, when he gets asked a question he doesn't like, will just have this amazing technique where he'll just ask himself a new question and answer that instead. And it really works. He got asked before the election by Nick Robinson. Mr Miliband, you've said you'll set a new mansion tax if you become Prime Minister, but you won't yet tell us at what rate you would set it. And Miliband just went, look, Nick, if you're asking me, have I got a plan for the housing market, then the answer's yes. It's amazing.
Farage is one of the best ones at it, because no matter what you ask him, he'll get a political answer in some way. You could say, Nigel, what you had for breakfast, mate? And he'd go, tea, toast and the Telegraph, Great British breakfast. He always manages to get his messages across. Boris Johnson is fascinating because he just loves avoiding questions, and he uses a twin-track approach of flattery and Latin. And this genuinely works. If he was here now, you could say, Boris, come on, just admit it. You want to be Prime Minister. And he'd go, oh, no, let me just say, great to be here amongst such great learned people on this crucible of culture. Reminds me very much of a phrase my father used to use, divitas, divitum, rectum.
Well done, Matt. Very good. OK, so James is left. Let's see what he's been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is Britain.
I wish I was Mexican. Love everything about... I love Mexican food. My favourite place to eat is a Mexican restaurant called Oaxaca. All you need to know about Oaxaca, everyone steals their spoons. So much so that every January, Oaxaca have a spoon amnesty on. You bring back one of the stolen spoons, and then they reward you with free tacos. Genius. Not only do they get their spoons back, they also get to watch while the thieves eat tacos, which I imagine have been interfered with beyond belief. Love Mexican food, love Mexican music. Mariachi music, best music in the world. Top 3 mariachi songs. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3, nothing, so there are no other mariachi songs. Ever been to a mariachi nightclub? It's full of people just going up to the DJ like, hey man, have you got yeah, I'll play it next. How about open your ears, I'm playing it right now. To request that song during the next one. Growing up in school, I was the only kid in my whole school who liked mariachi music. It was a nightmare. I couldn't walk down the corridor without some knob knocking my sombrero off my head, stepping on the back of my poncho on the way in a maths class. Once, a kid wrote Chimichanga Bum Boy across my forehead while I was having my post-lunch siesta. He also drew a moustache on my face, but to be fair, that played into my hands.
Bravo, very good. It's close, but for sticking to the topic, James Acaster gets the points. Well done to both of you. Come on back. Commercials that never made it to air.
Come to Trigo Mills. We got peacocks and everything.
We've got surprises in store. The escalator's broken and the staff know fuck all. Dignitas. It's not au revoir.
Have you had an accident that wasn't your fault and has ruined your life? Next time, use Durex.
Try uniform dating, because with the way government cuts are going, pretty soon it could be the quickest way to get a policeman to your house in an emergency.
If you can find it cheaper anywhere else, tell us and we'll burn their shop down.
The DFS sale has ended.
Have you been injured whilst doing voluntary work? Well, it's your lookout, isn't it?
The Dyson hand dryer. It's a perfect way to drown out the sound of somebody having a shit.
Papa? Papa? No, I'm sorry, Nicole, we've lost him.
little wine, because poor people shouldn't have to drink cider.
Steven Gerrard drinks Lucasade. This has been a Red Bull commercial.
News International. When you talk, we listen.
To qualify for second meerkat toy, Alexander has invaded Ukraine.
Milk. Try and forget it came out of a cow's tits.
Have you booked Joe Hart to advertise your product? Have you paid for advertising space until the end of the World Cup? Then you may be entitled to compensation.
At the end, the points go to Josh, Angela and Andy.
I was going to the Paralympics and I had one of those lanyards that you have to have because I was working there, and I went for a fry-up at lunchtime, and I was sat there and the guy came over and he said, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to the Paralympics in an hour." And he said, "Oh, what are you competing in?" A, clearly I'm not a Paralympian, and B, as if I'd go, "Well, I'll have a fry-up before I..."
The most astonishing thing about this summit is the number of just the huge roll call of new heroes. Like just watching Incredible Humans. David Rudisha's world record-breaking 800-metre run. That was astonishing. I just sat there watching him thinking, how does a human being learn to run 800 metres that quickly? And then you find out that he was trained by an Irish priest, and you think, yep, that would do it.
Some things don't get medals at all. I get very upset by the fact that in the show jumping and stuff, that horses don't get a medal. And in the dressage, they don't get a medal. And you look at the horse and you think, to be honest, I think the horse is doing most of the work. It's no wonder, and in the show jump, it's no wonder they knock all the fences over, because the horse is just thinking, well, what's in it for me? More even if I go clear, I won't get a single vote in Sports Personality of the Year.
It's also very difficult for them to text the number because they're big foot on the phone. It doesn't really.
It's very, very rare that they have horse voting. And generally, if they do have horse voting, the nays have it.
We're away.
That's the best joke I've heard.
Now we're starting.
You get into mad sports. There's things that I didn't really know. I didn't know about the steeplechase. Before, but that's now my favourite race on the track. Is you just go around the track and then eventually someone puts a big fence in your way, which you have to leap over into a pool of water, and then off you go. It's like the crazy golf of the track. They should completely embrace that. I think there should be a little bit further along. There should be a windmill that you have to run through. You have to avoid the sails clattering you. Big rotating Boris Johnson head halfway down the track.
Just the mouth opening and closing.
Going pah 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 pah. I'm letting out athletes.
I love the open water swimming. I thought that was great, the open water swimming. But I did think it was one of the very few events that Rio are going to do better. There's a lot more stuff in the water there.
Did you actually watch the sailing at any stage?
I did.
Yeah.
It was the one that I just couldn't... I have no idea what's going on here.
Like, oh, he's in first. Oh, he's seventh. Oh, he's ninth. Oh, he's 14th. Oh, he's disqualified. No, he's back in. No, wait, he's won. He's gold. It's a silver. It's like the same row thing, like whatever. Randomly, somebody... Just you'd be watching going, oh, there he goes, and another boat would just go across like that. Oh, somebody's lost now.
I was watching the Paralympic sailing and I thought it was quite boring until I realised I was actually watching a repeat of 3 Men in a Boat.
I did think the broadcasting was generally excellent. I mean, at no point did I think that the BBC sent people along to events whose knowledge of the sport or whose ability to communicate that knowledge was ever in doubt. It was just top quality the entire way through.
look at the reaction of the Irish fans in attendance here at the XL Arena and what that signifies.
2 more minutes, Hayden! Come on! Jesus, the place are up there. I can't call this. This is too tight.
Were you actually sent there by the BBC, or do you two just carry a microphone around?